It's time for another podcast of a crazy little thing called Lovdev. Today's episode is 128. Unchained Heroes. You may hear cars driving past, maybe people chatting in the background. It's a warm, sunny day in the UK as I'm recording this podcast episode. So I've left the window open. So if you do hear any background noise, it's because of that. Waiting on my coffee. My coffee is brewing as well. So hopefully that will come to me very shortly. How are we, folks? What's happening? There is so much going on in the world. I don't really want to talk about it. You already know what's happening. I've got personal opinions about it. It's just disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. That's with everything that's going on. But hey, the world would be a boring place if there wasn't anything happening, I suppose. Which is why I don't want to come back to this planet. Do not bring me back. For the gods, the comedy gods up there. Not this one. Nah, maybe a different one. Where there's a bit more... Where the audience are laughing. Yeah, send me to that world. What's happening? Not a lot. I got back into work now, slowly eased my way. You don't fancy working when you've had a break from holiday, isn't it? I'll be honest, I was still tired. I was knackered. I don't know how I did it. And then I went to the gym on top of that, and I was supposed to go to the gym this morning, but I woke up on time and I felt like, no, I need to go back to bed, which is very lazy of me. The thing is, like, you think, oh yeah, I'll have an extra hour, then I'll go. And you don't. You end up sleeping for a lot longer. Then you wake up and you think, oh, great. Well, I can't go now. It's too late. And then you regret it. And then you start kicking yourself. That's the thing. Sometimes you have to just push yourself, I suppose, to do stuff. Has anyone seen that baby that got rescued in Kentucky in the USA? This baby fell down a 10-foot hole, 10 foot down, which is that's quite high. I was thinking, like, it's a toddler, so this, it's a proper baby. Do you know what I mean? How did it manage to get down this hole? And it was playing in its backyard. So how did it, didn't the parents think, oh, we better cover this hole up in case someone falls through it? Or did they just think, nah, no one's going to fall through that hole? I mean, when I watched the video, there's a video of this and I saw it online. I was thinking, that's mad, that is. Like, how did the baby get in that hole? Because it didn't look big enough for anyone to get in through that little 10-foot hole. How do you discover that your baby's down there as well? Maybe, I suppose, you could hear it crying in the video. There's a video of it on the news, right? And you can hear this baby, like, screaming its head off. It's awful. Absolutely awful. But the way they took it out was amazing. They kind of made, like, the rescuers, they made this rope, right? And they chucked this rope down the hole, and it kind of, like, latched onto the baby. And they pulled it out. They pulled the baby straight out. I don't know how long that child was in that 10-foot deep hole, but it must have been absolutely petrified. I don't know why I'm laughing, because it's not a funny thing. But, it was amazing the way he took it out. And I've always wondered, I'm trying to think of when I got rescued. I got rescued once, years ago. I've already mentioned this on my podcast. If you listen to this, like, from the beginning, you'd know. I nearly had my head chopped off. It's going to be an accident. Magically, somebody I worked with pulled my head down. Basically, I was going down this tunnel, and I almost chopped my head off. And there was a guy who saw it coming towards me, and he just pushed my head down. He saved my life. That was a rescue moment. That's the only time I think I've been rescued. It's horrible, though, being in that situation, getting that, It's like when I went on holiday. Like, we went to a couple of beaches on holiday, and I saw a couple of cliffs, and I thought, if I fall down that, I've had it. They won't be able to rescue me. I'll be gone. And if they do rescue me, I'll be all over the news. Maybe I should have fell down it and then just said, subscribe, guys, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram. People do that, actually. Have you seen people that on the cars? I've seen a few of these, right? People put down their Instagram account, their ID thing, on the car window screen, and I thought, if I did that, I know I'm not gonna do that, but like that's what the world's coming to now, isn't it? Being on the old Instagrammy and getting yourself out there. That everybody wants to be famous because everyone's watching these YouTubers and these TikTokers make big money, and they're thinking, oh, I want a bit of that. Soon they'll start teaching us education in schools about the internet, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. They'll be all over the place. Anyway, all over the place. I didn't want to talk about the United Kingdom at the moment because there's so much going on, but it's the usual thing that we do on this podcast. It's time for
Ask the UK.
Today's question has been posted by Salty Bacon Bits on Ask the UK Reddit forum, as always. Their question they ask is, what's the worst Olympic sport to do naked? I'll be honest, I'll put my hand up. I'm not into the Olympics. I don't watch any of it. I've seen clips on the news, that's it. It doesn't interest me at all because I'm a boring person. I'm not actually a sporty person. But if I was to choose an Olympic sport, the worst sport you could do the Olympics naked, I would have to say it's got to be wrestling. Has to be wrestling. Do they even have wrestling in the Olympics? I don't even know. The reason I choose that one is because you get to see everything like properly, don't you? Because, they do the grabs, they throw each other on the floor, clothesline, all that malarkey, getting people in headlocks, right? Their bums are up in the air. Oh, no, it's not for me, mate. Seeing that sport naked gives me the creeps. If it was in the US, you'd still have an audience there and they'd still be cheering and enjoying it, even though half of it is fake. But I would pick probably that one. Or javelin. Imagine if you was watching the men's javelin team and they're completely naked. You just see them like swinging. And I'm not talking about the javelin either. It'd be going left and right, left and right. I'd pick that one, Mr. Salty Bacon Bits. He said, or they have said, could be a woman, we're talking about discomfort and visuals. Yep, that's what I went with. I'm going with volleyball. There's too much sand and too much bending over. I think volleyball would probably be the most watched naked Olympic sport, if there was one. Definitely. Especially the women's. I reckon all the blokes would be watching the women's. Because volleyball, anyway, is quite an entertaining sport, isn't it? Mind you, if there was too much sand, it'll cover them up, won't it? Or maybe I'm thinking of mud sports. Maybe I'm thinking of that. That's funny. One person has put down fencing. Fencing. Oh, yeah, fencing. Because, oh, God, fencing naked. You'd probably kill them, wouldn't you? I'd imagine so. If the Olympic sports were naked, I reckon it would be the biggest sporting event in the world. Definitely. Maybe they should do it naked. Those people, nudists, nudists go to the beach and that naked. Do you think they would want that? I reckon they have their own, like, private naked sport events. I'm going to have to Google this. I'm actually going to Google if there really is a naked sport event. Well. Believe it or not, I went on the old internet And there is a nude sports. There is an actual Olympic events that happens. I wasn't surprised, I'll be honest. This is from a website called topendsports.com. I don't know what they do, but there's an article on it where there are nude sporting events. I believe it's, as I said, it was for the nudists. Again, doesn't surprise me. There's a nude Olympics, which is held in Maslin Beach. That's in South Australia. Then they have another one in Australia, which is held in Queensland. And then over across the pond, I'll say the pond. I mean, how far is Australia to America? Probably miles away. There's a nude beach Olympics. That's in San Francisco. In Princeton University Nude Olympics, right? From the late 1960s up until 1999. Students at the university were involved in an unofficial school tradition called the Nude Olympics, as its peak event was held at midnight on the night on the first snowfall, with participants running around naked and participating in Olympic activities such as calisthenics, I don't even think I said that right, snowball throwing, push-ups, jumping jacks, and crew racing. Due to the overzealous participants and increasing alcohol, obviously, alcohol is the main key word there. During the event, they started to ban it in the university. So basically, a load of students just made it up. That's in the US. There's running of the nudes. So if you like running, you can actually run naked. And it's part of a festival in San Fermin. I don't know where that is, San Fermin. And then there's another one called Running of the Bulls in Pamplona. I'm guessing that's in Spain? Is it? Sounds Spanish. There's also naked rugby. If you like rugby, there is a naked rugby event held in south of New Zealand. Amazing. So there are naked Olympic sports, not official ones, but there are, well, I suppose other ones in Australia are official then. Maybe they're just like official to a certain amount of people and they attend that event. Yeah. As I said, if there was a naked sports Olympics, I will probably watch it. I have got an event myself today. I've got to go and... I can't be naked because it's in a place of worship. I've got to go to my cousin's christening. It's not a christening. I don't know what the word is. A celebration. Basically, one of my cousins got married in India and his wife's come over now. I know. Deport her back! So, they've got a... they're having a blessing. That's the word. They're having a blessing at the temple. So, I've got to head there very shortly. And I'm thinking, right, I've got to get this podcast out of the way so it's ready for you guys whenever you listen to it. I don't know when you guys listen, but if you're listening right now and it doesn't make any sense, I can't tell you how the event went because I'm not there yet, but I can imagine what it's going to be. Got to go in, say some prayers, even though I'm not religious, and then they're cutting a cake at the end. That's basically what's going to sum up the day. So I'll be seeing a couple of family members there. Hopefully they will comment or give me a praise on my nice golden brown tan that I received off holiday. I'll be honest though, I rarely ever go to the temple. The last time I can't remember the last time I went to the temple. I think it was for an event. Yeah, it was for another blessing. It was. Oh, that was it. It was my nephew's first birthday blessing thing, and I went to that. And that was the same temple where I got married, right? And I haven't been there for ages, and it's changed quite a lot. And a part of me is like, I should be going to the temple more often, but then I'm not, like I said, I'm not a religious person. So I don't know what I'm actually talking about. Let's move on with the podcast.
My fellow Americans and United Kingdom, everybody else out there, it's time for No Stupid Questions.
Thank you. I'm not going to get tired of using DJ Trump for my intro to the No Stupid Questions until I get sick of his voice. But I won't. I absolutely love it. So today's No Stupid Question was reminding me of a story that happened to me on holiday I've totally forgot it, and this question like basically brought that memory back because it was something I was going to mention, but I didn't mention this. It's right. I'll read the question out and then I'll tell you what happened. This one has been posted by Cash Owl. They have asked, have you accidentally left your car running with the keys still inside the car, not knowing so? Now, I did have a car on holiday, right? But I didn't leave it in the car. The keys I'm talking about. So what happened was we used to catch a ferry in between the two islands of Malta and Gozo, and it takes around 20 minutes on the ferry, and you can take your car onto the ferry. And I kind of got used to it because we used it so many times. Well, basically what happened was as we were coming off the ferry, there was a couple who were asking me for a stick. They said, have you got a stick on you? And I said, no, we haven't got any stick or anything in the car, not that I think of. And I was like, what's happened? And they said they've left the keys in the car. So the keys were in the ignition, but the car wasn't running because you're not allowed to have the car running on a ferry. And I was like, oh my God. So all the doors were locked. It was one of those Jeeps. So it's like a proper Jeep where you can stand on the back of it, if you know what I mean. Like a pickup truck kind of Jeep. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So there's a window there, and I looked at it, and I said to my missus, I said, can you get through that? And she was like, no. I was like, nah, you can't get through that. I said, maybe my son can get through that. And then I looked at my son, and he's a big lad now. I mean, he's 13, but he's tall. He's quite tall. And I thought, nah, he can't get through that either. So luckily, I walked around the car to see if there's any other way I can get in. And on the passenger side, the lady left her window slightly down, just a little bit. It was enough to put your hand through, but not enough to unlock the door. So I became a hero, basically. That's what I was the hero. Forgot to mention this. Yep. I was talking about rescues, being rescued. Was it being yeah. I rescued someone on holiday. So what I done, I got the window and I thought, let me see if I can push it down. And I was quite scared because I didn't want to break the window. But then I thought, if I do break the window, we'll be able to get into the car and they'll be happy. I'm sure they'll just sort the window out. So I thought, you know what, let me try my best. And I just kept pulling it down slightly. And the window was moving down. And I thought, oh, it's working. And then it got to a stage where it was quite a struggle. And I was putting a lot of force on it. And then I got it down enough for my missus to get her arm through it. So she got her arm through it and unlocked the door. And we were heroes. They were so happy. They were like, oh my God, they thought they were never going to get off the ferry. Imagine if you're on the ferry and you can't get into your car. You'd be going up and down, won't you? You'd be going back and forth on the ferry. That's what would happen. But anyway, they did leave their keys in the car without realizing. And I rescued them. Way, I'm a hero. Well, me and Sheila are. I'm guessing this person has done that. Probably, I don't know if Cash Owl has done that. I'll read a couple of comments. One person put, when I was younger, I used to work in a convenience store where it happened with some sort of regularity. Fortunately, all you have to do is call the fire department if the engine is running and you lock your keys in. It's a safety risk at that point. Therefore, the fire department will come out and open the door to turn off your engine instead of having to call the locksmith to do it. I suppose they could do it. I mean, worst case scenario, if me and my wife wasn't there at that time, they could have just smashed the window. But I always think, like, things happen in life. I was meant to be on that ferry, parked behind that person, and I was able to rescue them. I don't know what you guys think, but I think I was. That was today's No Stupid Questions. Loved it. Right, let's move on with the podcast and finish, as always, with You got it. A weird news story. I'm going to be completely and generally honest. This weird news story, I instantly found it straight away. The title of the story just blew me. It's a mystery. It's a mystery, guys. We're going to try and solve it. Well, I'll see if I don't think I'll be able to solve it. Let's just get on with the thing, Lovdev. Right, today's weird news story is mystery surrounds US woman found starving and chained to a tree in India. Yeah, you heard that right. So an American woman was found chained to a tree in India. What is happening? Mystery surrounds an American woman who was found chained to a tree, screaming in a forest in the western Indian state of Maharashtra. Lalita Kai, shout out to Lalita Kai, who's 50 years old, happy birthday, was discovered a week ago in the dense forest of Sindhu district after her cries for help were heard by shepherds. They alerted the police, who sawed off the chain and rescued her. Kay appeared completely emaciated. I don't know where I learned my English. Was taken to hospital. Her physical health has since improved, and on Friday, she moved to a psychiatric facility for further treatment. During doctors treating her told the BBC. In a written statement to the police, she has alleged that her husband chained her and left her in the forest to die without food or water. Oh, her husband. I thought it was someone else who done it. Police say they are looking for her husband in the southern state of the Tamil Nadu on the basis of the information she provided them. But 7 days after Kay was rescued, there is still no clarity on who she is, how she came to be in the forest, who tied her to the tree, and why. Somebody had to tie her. She can't chain herself to a tree, can she? So someone else is clearly involved. She's saying it's her husband. But then they said that they took her to a psychiatric facility. So are they saying she's got some kind of mental health issues or something? I don't know. Let's read further on and find out. Pandurang Gorka, that's a guy who's a cowherder, who was found there last Saturday, told the BBC Marathi that he had taken his cattle to graze in the forest when he heard a woman screaming loudly. The sound was coming from the forest on the side of the mountain. When I went there, I saw that one of her legs was tied to a tree. She was screaming like an animal. I called all the other villagers and the local police. Police said that on her, they found a copy of her passport which stated that she was an American citizen, and her Aadhaar card, which is a unique ID card for Indians, with her home address in Tamil Nadu. So is she an American but lives in India now? Because she's got an ID for Indians? Maybe. They said she also had a mobile phone. She had a mobile phone, a tablet, at least she had something to keep her occupied, innit? And she had about $621 in her possession, which allowed them to rule out theft as a motive. Locals say that it was the woman's good fortune that the shepherd picked a spot near her to graze his flock that day. She could have been dead. But then her legs were only tied, or the suppose she would have had to sawed it off or something with a tablet. Locals say that it was a woman's good fortune that the shepherd picked a spot near her to graze his flock that day. The forest she was discovered in is vast, and she's otherwise could have gone for days without anyone hearing her cries for help. Police initially took her to a local hospital before moving her to a hospital in the neighbouring state of Goa. So Dr. Shimvad, shout out to Dr. Shimvad, Dean of Goa Medical College, he told the Indian Express that she had some wounds on her leg and has appeared to be suffering from a mental health condition. She tied herself up, didn't she? We do not know for how long she did not eat, but her vital signs are stable. That's from the doctor. On Friday, the woman's physical health has improved enough to be moved to a psychiatric hospital in Ratinadagiri district. Currently, her health is stable. A hospital superintendent, Dr. Sangha, told the BBC she's taking medication, eating and interacting with people. If she wants something, she can communicate it. She only knows English. I'm sure she knows a bit of Hindi. I mean, she's, emigrated to India? She must know a bit of Indian, innit? According to the police, Kay was a ballet dancer and a yoga practitioner in America. Some reports say specifically Massachusetts, and moved to India about 10 years ago. She went there to study yoga and meditation. Maybe she was in a trance and she didn't realise that she tied herself up. I think I've solved it. I didn't think I could, but I have. Do I need to read more on? I don't even know. It was there that she met her husband in some media reports, police have said. They call him Santish. Oh, he's an Indian guy. Police say they believe at some point she fell out with her husband. Some reports say she stayed in a hotel in Goa for 2 days. Then she went to Mumbai, which is India's financial capital. But there's no clarity surrounding when or how she ended up in the forest where she was discovered last week. Kay was initially unable to speak, communicated with the police and doctors by scribbling notes on a pad. Through them, she blamed her husband for tying her to the tree and claimed that she had gone without food and water for 40 days. She was there for 40 days. I think she's making it up. She also claimed that she had been given an injection for extreme psychosis, which locked her jaw and prevented her from drinking water, and she had to be provided nutrition intravenously. What does that mean? She'd eat her own poo. I am a victim and survived, but he ran away from there, she said. Police say they've been unable to verify these claims and believe it is unlikely that someone would survive without food or water for so long. That's what I said. But then she does meditation. Maybe she put her body in a trance. They registered a case of attempted murder against her husband, and now they've dispatched a team to Tamil to investigate the matter further. Her husband is yet to be traced and hasn't made any statements to the police. Police say they are looking for clues in the mobile phone and the tablet she found. I wonder how much battery percent she had left on her tablet. If she was there for more than 40 days, that tablet and phone would be dead. The US Embassy in Delhi, which reports has been exerting pressure on the police to speed up the investigation. So the BBC have said they can't respond to any inquiries due to the United States Privacy Act. There we go. That was today's weird news story about a woman who tied herself up to a tree. Well, she claimed her husband did it. Who knows? That's what I call a weird news story. And that's what I call today's podcast. We hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next week.